Welcome to Live and Learn. My name is Shirley Layer. I am the founder of W.O.M.E.N, and on each episode, we bring you interesting people within our communities that have knowledge, experience, and unique skills to share. These individuals are entrepreneurs, artisans, hobbyists, but most of all, people that live in your own backyard. Thank you for tuning in with me, and I hope you learned something new today. Live and learn. What's up, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of the Live and Learn show, where we interview interesting people who have knowledge, experience, and unique skills to share. My name is Shirley Layer. I am the founder of W.O.M.E.N at liveditlearned.com, and I'm your host today. And I have a very special guest. She is a serial entrepreneur. She is a Hall of Fame singer-songwriter, a top 5% and winning realtor, was the vice mayor of Lakewood Old Hickory Tennessee, CEO and founder of several nonprofits, including W.O.M.E.N, the Friends of Lakewood, and she's also an author of the motivational audiobook Permission to Live, and you are now the owner of OfficeNow, which is where we are today in this beautiful office space. And I want to thank you too, because you opened the doors to us, giving us the opportunity to record here in this space, so welcome.
Thank you, Shirley. Oh my goodness, absolutely. What a great, what I call marriage going on here, because what you're bringing to the community, to the state, and to the world is just knowledge, and that's what we're doing here. And thank you for that. Sounds like you've been stalking me a little bit on LinkedIn or something. I'm like, boy, she really did her homework on what I've been doing. So thank you for this blessing and this opportunity to be a part of this.
Well, thank you too. I appreciate the collaboration, and I'm excited because you have a really interesting and extraordinary life resume. I mean, all of the things that you've accomplished, and you're still doing more, so I'm really excited. And just like the first thing, since it is the Live and Learn show, I just want to ask you a simple question. What's something new that you've learned this week?
Oh my goodness. Well, I learned this week that I can't do everything.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
I'm a very hands-on person. You and I spoke. Some days I'm in this building and I'm with a drill in my hand and a hammer. Mm-hmm. And we had an issue of something that I was very frustrated. I just couldn't fix myself, and so probably the biggest thing is I can't be everything, and that's hard for me because I've done a lot of great things, but that's probably the big one.
Yeah, that's the same for me. Being able to, like, what is it called? Delegate, ask for help. It's so hard because, you know, when you do everything yourself, it's like, no, I can figure it out. But
yeah,
being able
especially when you're an artist like you,
right?
We're very creative, but I'm also a businesswoman, and that's very unusual. Just like you, a lot of artists cannot really carry out the vision. You happen to be one of those unique women as we've talked through the time and got to know you. So it's a blessing and a curse.
Right.
Blessing and a curse.
Yep.
I've told my husband, why can't I just get on the roof and go da 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 da? And he's like, you cannot do that, okay?
You got so much on your plate already. You just find someone that can.
I'm like, I'll go on Pinterest, I'll figure this thing out,
Yep.
or I'll go on to Live and Learn, and I will Google it and I'll
exactly.
find the topic.
I love it. Well, I'm super excited to get into this. And, you know, we've actually had conversations before talking about your story. And I want to start out, how were you introduced into the industry? Because you started off as a singer-songwriter, and you knew that from really young.
Yeah.
So how did, and especially like, you know, being in 2019, everything is technology. We can Google everything, we can go on YouTube. You did this all pre-Google, pre-YouTube. How did you get started?
Well, first the thing I would tell people, if you're listening to this and you want to break into the music industry, it's really a relationship industry. And the other thing I love to say is you need to pay your dues, because what I find is a lot of people want to, you know, and they want to go watch a TV show, and I'm going to keep the name out of it, where you stand in line for a day, and if you don't get the signed deal, you're kind of like, this is my lifelong dream, and they'll say it at like 16 years old, and then they don't get brought back onto the show, and they're like, it's over. Well, to give you an idea, when I was 12 years old, I had told my mom that and by the way, we're in Clarksville, Tennessee. I was thinking about that because people are listening all over the globe, which is 45 minutes east of Nashville, northwest, excuse me. And so I'm living in California, where I was born and raised, and I told my mom I was going to be in country music, and there was nobody in my family in music, no one, and nobody played an instrument. So I want that to be a lesson right there. It doesn't matter because in all the things I've done, I've always, I've sought out somebody that has the skills and what I want. So if you want to be in the music industry, you're going to look and find people in your community that have the skills. So I started, at 12 years old. My father had taken me to San Francisco, and there were these street performers, and we have them in Memphis, we have them in Nashville. Nashville's a cool place for the vibe of music.
Yeah.
And what I mean by street performers, it was legal. These women would be in coffee houses and on corners of these shops, and they would have a guitar with the case open. I'm like, at 12, I was like, oh yeah, I want that gig.
Nice.
That's the gig I want, right? Who doesn't want that gig, right?
Yep.
But I didn't write and I didn't sing and I wouldn't even know where to begin. But I just started now we call it journaling or blogging or whatever. And I was writing some feelings on paper, and I just listened to the radio. Mm-hmm. And I fell in love with writers first. James Taylor, Carly Simon. Fell in love with voices that had nothing to do with country. I just fell in love with just stories.
Right.
And I had gone through some issues, and I wanted to get my stories out. So it was therapeutic. Back then, we didn't even know what that was. Just journaling, okay. And make a long story short, a few years later, I found an ad in an actual newspaper. I had a newspaper route. Yeah. Nice. We actually used to deliver those. Yeah. And I saw in there that was looking for a girl singer to compete for some stuff, and I got around. I started there. I started little, and it just started to blossom. And the pay your dues, I sing for free on a pallet in the freezing cold at an apple farm, where I begged them to let me sing for free. Wow. Because I told them, I said, look, if you let me sing and there's music here, then people will stop and eat pie at your place versus going to the other pie shops at the little, it's kind of like an Apple Hill. I don't know where that, I was like, and the guy said, okay, can you sing? I'm like, oh yeah. Like, I didn't even know keys. I didn't know, listen, some of this, guys, you just got to go in. When you start your day job today, if you have a day job, aren't you going to go in and somebody's going to teach you each step? Yep. Well, it's the same for me. And as I grew, I found better mentors. And, I was blessed. I ended up opening and touring with 50 major country giants in the world. The ones you know, the ones you've seen smashing guitars on stage, some that weren't country like Cher, got to be around legends, played Vegas, played Tahoe, was told I'll never make it. Oh, I heard that not just from industry professionals. I heard that from family members, other than my mom. My mom was my biggest fan. Yeah. And thank God for our mamas, right?
Yes.
So I know I just, those are just some things like, did I make it? Yeah, but I paid my dues. And I'm glad. I talked with Toby Keith about this one time. He's a big country artist. We were glad there was no just go and compete for a show. Mm-hmm. It really helped us learn audiences. I could read a room from the stage in Vegas and know what songs would attract them. And by the way, I was one of the first females ever in Vegas, Tahoe, and Reno to do original material on stage. All the other bands had to play what they called cover music. And that was disruptive for my time. I'm like, look, every song was written by somebody, so why not listen to my stuff?
Wow, so you were a trendsetter.
Yes, I was very excited about that. Yeah.
Wow, so you were able to, how long did that last?
25 years I toured and opened for artists, and then I would be headliners too. So I could sell out the same as, if Billy Ray Cyrus was there and Vince Gill and I was opening for those guys, my own material, I would have the same length in line to get autographs that they would have.
Wow, that's incredible.
That was just a blast. And like Vince is the reason, Vince Gill, he had asked me to come to Nashville and do some recordings. Like, oh no, I'm blessed. We're working 250 dates a year, independent. I was offered a record deal, said no.
Wow.
Because here I am transferring 20 plus years later, and I own all the rights to my songs. I paid my band scale when they were paying scale. I was able to have the creative rights to my music. I didn't want somebody to come in and say, oh, I see you've booked yourself 200 dates this year. We'll go ahead and sign you if you give us 50% of all that.
Right.
And I'm like, then what are you bringing to the table? Now, let me preface it with a disclaimer. There are great labels out there, and there are great managers out there, but you need to be cautious. And how do you learn from that? You get around legitimate ones that have your back. And I just happen to be blessed in the Nashville area to be around people that knew what was legit and not. And the label was legit. It's just I wasn't willing to give my life away for something I'd already built before I got here.
Right.
And I look back and go, thank you, Jesus, because, yeah, I have a lot of friends that I open for. I don't need to name names. They're now in their 60s and 70s. They were always about 20 years old or 30 years old. Some of them, guys, I'm telling you, they're broke. They're financially drained. They're emotionally spun. They never created wealth. Nobody taught them about multiple streams. They never taught them that you have a shelf life. They never told them to save. They always thought, ooh, I want a #1 party, and they didn't realize they'd get billed for the #1 party.
Yeah.
It's sad the way the industry abuses them. They don't have medical coverage.
Really?
Oh,
Wow,
I have
I
a friend
didn't
of
know
mine, Sheila Shipley Biddy.
Mm-hmm.
She started the first ever program for artists and musicians where they can get health care. There were major people that came to this city to give their lives to this city.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just give you one quick scenario, and then we can go on, because this is a learning moment.
Right, absolutely.
There was a guy that moved here from California, one of the most incredible men I've ever known, and he was a drummer. He played for big bands out there, big talented man. He came here, and he decided that he wanted to do a Monday night event at Tootsie's, which is a big deal in Nashville. Mm-hmm. And he dedicated 20 years to spotlighting brain. He was the guy when Music Row wouldn't open a door for you because they couldn't or wouldn't. He was the man that said, come on in.
Nice.
And his name was Billy. And Billy would, I remember writing him from Sacramento saying, I'm going to be coming. He's like, come. His name was Billy Block. It's called the Billy Block series. Billy was the first hello to you. He was the one that made you feel normal here. He was the one that opened his doors. I'm not saying labels don't, but this was the real deal. 4 years ago, Billy finds out he has cancer. There's nobody can help him. I see this every day with musicians in their 50s and 60s. They have no health care coverage. They have no nest egg. If their spouse, which is really their job security, doesn't work a real job, they have nothing. Wow. And so it's just tragic. So there was an alliance group that was created, Music Alliance Group by Sheila Shipley Biddy. Mr. Biddy, Ken Biddy, was a big deal on Music Row. And they stepped up to make sure that those people have something. You know what the saddest thing for me to do, and that's why I'm glad we're talking about music first. Listen to me, people. I don't care if you're the best Celine Dion singer in your life. You better have multiple streams and realize this, because even Reba was smart enough to know to be an actress, have a jewelry line and a clothing line. And she has other investments. Shaq has Auntie Anne pretzels and a DJ business and 400 other streams. Even Beyonce got smart and wanted a perfume line. Why? Because they were watching artists perish and be broke and have nothing. Nothing at all to fall back on. You know, you can write, I'll be able to write music till the day I die. But I had to stop touring sooner or later. Right. And if you don't set yourself up and be smart about it, you're going to suffer. And your older years will suffer. And you could be that person that when you're diagnosed with cancer, it takes everything you own and it's over.
Right. Yeah.
So you said this is about being real.
Absolutely.
And how do you learn? Learn from other people's mistakes.
Exactly.
Because let's honor those that have been on Music Row in the last 2 to 3 years that have had to put a GoFundMe page on the wall in begging mode like a Billy Block because he left 4 beautiful daughters and a beautiful wife that couldn't afford to bury him. This is wrong. Yes. And if we don't step up and get real with our friends, now when you're young, you're like, oh, but I'm going to be the one. Listen to me. Some of these artists were the ones. Right. They had the Grammys, they had the hits, but they're broke. So let's learn from that and have multiple streams.
Well, exactly. And you know, when you think about multiple streams, we have multiple bills. You know, we have bills coming from everywhere. So if we have multiple bills, why not have multiple streams?
Yeah, residual bills.
Exactly, residual bills.
And we know in the music industry what residual is.
Exactly.
You know, we've got Crimson running today the photography, and she's a videography, and you know, this woman's she's right out there, and she's a giant when it comes to that. And the realities that's really fun about her industry is she can do a video once, right? And it can sell over and over. That's just smart leverage. So you've got, in the music industry, we know you sing it once, it gets recorded, it's longevity. You know, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you know, the wealth is coming because 25 years ago a show was filmed with Will Smith. These are the smart things we need to do, and we need to step up and be smarter. And these are not topics that are discussed in Music Row.
Wow.
They're not.
Wow. And I'm glad that you're bringing it up now because it's going to get people thinking, get people talking, and they're going to be able to research, what you were talking about with
Music Alliance. Music Alliance. You can become a member. They'll help you. There was a gentleman that ended up having throat cancer. He couldn't afford the MRI. They helped offset the cost.
Wow.
Musicians, artists. So yes, I'm so proud of what they've done.
Yes.
It should have been done by labels, royalty companies.
Of course.
Just being real.
It's always the people that it affects that they make a change and they do something about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question. If you could learn or experience something hands-on, it could be anything you want, what would it be that you haven't learned or experienced yet?
Wow, that's a great question. It's probably going to be silly because I'm in the moment in this building doing this remodel. I want to get on this roof here.
I love it.
And our roof is in great shape. It's a beautiful roof. Don't get worried, people here, but I want a patina stain. I want to see if I can turn the colors and just do something crazy with it. And I want it to be a statement in the community. I want to do something that people say can't be done, and I've already been told that 3 times. So that's literally what motivates me more to figure it out. So if y'all see me on the roof, just wave. I want to do something.
Rudolph.
And so I'll be talking to you from some of your roofing experts.
Nice.
Okay.
Excellent. Yeah, I'll definitely go up there, film it, make sure we can catch it all.
Absolutely.
That's great. So where can everyone find you? Social media, websites, let us know. And also let us know what's going on here at OfficeNow because there's a lot of amazing things happening. If you could let us know.
Well, thank you so much. So first of all, we have an on-site cafe called Mrs. Pete's. So daily, Monday through Friday, we have home-cooked meals being delivered to our suite tenants as well as people from all over the community. So come on in, grab some great food from Lucita Mason. Second, we have a gallery, an interactive gallery. We have blind artists. We have children with autistic disabilities being able to touch art here. Our gallery formal opening, open to the community with demonstrations, is May 18th, Saturday. No charge. Oh my goodness, we have artists coming from all over the southern region. So May 18th at OfficeNow. Really, I want to offer a gift back to the community. If you go to my personal website, which is www.ownyourdestiny.com. Ownyourdestiny.com. If you go to that, you can reach me, whether it be a speaking engagement or you just want to know a good place to join a songwriting organization or anything that you want to know. That's a great way to reach me. As far as Clarksville's premier workspace solution, OfficeNow, we're located at 1860 Wilma Rudolph Boulevard, and our website address is ClarksvilleOfficeNow.com. ClarksvilleOfficeNow.com. And guys, come check us out. I mean, there's nobody doing what we do. The energy is amazing. And I just want to thank you again for what you're doing for the community, because we are partnering with you to be doing some demonstrations and classes here in the coming years. So look for that, guys.
Such an incredible story. And the information that you're sharing, I think, is very valuable for everyone that's listening or watching. So what experiences in your life prepared you most for what you're doing now?
Everything. I've learned, I've grown. I have absolutely no problem one of the phrases I like to use is fail fast if I feel like I'm not on the right direction. So I feel like everything has led me to this, and then I just keep growing. So I think that's probably the best way I can answer that. It's not one thing that got me to a point where I bought a 24,000 square foot old Daymar Junior college.
Right. All right, April, so thank you so much for this interview. I really enjoyed it, and I hope that everyone got some excellent information, value. Thank you for collaborating with us here at OfficeNow. Also want to thank Clarksville Marketplace and Blondell Video Company. I hope you guys got a lot of information. We're going to be, interviewing more people. There's a lot of potential here in Clarksville, Tennessee, a lot of talented individuals that have a lot of information and knowledge to share. My name is Shirley Layer. I'm the founder of Learn at liveditlearnedit.com, and live, learn, share, and grow. Take care. Live and learn.